joining us today, great to welcome Dr. Anisha Patel, and she has co-written a very interesting book. Great time of the year to do it as we are in the new year right now. It's called Half the Sugar, All the Love, a family cookbook. It's 100 easy low-sugar recipes for every meal of the day, and Dr. Patel joined us by telephone, and she's also Associate Professor of Pediatrics at Stanford University, and joining us on the line. And Doctor, good to talk with you. Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year to you, too. Thanks so much for having me.
I know this is the time of year after the holidays. People start to look at the weight and what they eat or what they've eaten over the holidays and start to pay attention to it a little bit. So it's a good time to have this book come out, isn't it?
Sure is. But at 365 days in the year, it's never too late to make a change.
No, that's true, but I think people kind of look at it this time of year, so it's a good time to do that as a new year and all that. But what gave you the idea or the impetus to write the book, put it together?
Yeah, so, I am a pediatrician, so I see a lot of families in the clinical setting, and then my research also focuses on, trying to prevent childhood obesity and looking at some of the factors, including the diet, that contributes to that. And in the clinical setting, we've been seeing a lot more patients who are struggling with obesity. 1 in 5 children in the United States actually have obesity, and it's estimated that 1 in 5 teenagers are actually pre-diabetic, so already showing signs of diabetes in the clinical setting. We also see a number of other health conditions that are associated with eating too much sugar, including high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol levels, fatty liver disease, and fatty liver disease is actually one of the most common conditions that's leading to liver transplantation here in the United States, so it's something definitely to pay attention to.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. Children nowadays, a lot more that, like you said, are obese. When I was in elementary school, there was always maybe 1 or 2, but very rare that you saw that. But right now, it's like you said, it's almost an epidemic how many kids are not just heavy, but facing health issues because of their weight.
That's right. And we know that eating too much sugar, the added sugar in particular, that's added to foods and beverages is a real culprit in the problem. And children right now, they're consuming, 3 times the recommended amount of sugar. So it's 6 teaspoons for children who are 2 years and older, and so that means we're taking in, 18 teaspoons for these kids, which is quite a bit.
And then you add to the fact the kids probably don't run around as much as they used to. They're spending more time with their phones and video games. That doesn't help either.
You are correct. That is not helping either.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the book. I was surprised some of the recipes in it that you can make either no sugar or less sugar, and you really have, it's not just dinner food, it's desserts, breakfast food as well. So you give it a little rundown of some of the recipes and maybe some of the favorite ones you had.
Sure. So, when we were thinking about this book and what recipes to include, we really wanted to think about family favorites and favorites for kids, so things like Rice Krispie treats or brownies, chocolate chip cookies, but there's also what we call sneaky sugars. So those are the sugars that are in foods where you don't expect it, so things that you think are healthy but actually have a lot of added sugar in them, so granola, yogurt, soups, dressings, condiments, sauces, so those all have added sugar in them, and a lot of people don't even know. And so in this recipe book, we really focused on those items, the things that typically have a lot of added sugar. We have, my favorite recipes are actually related to some of the breads in the book. So there's a pumpkin bread that's extremely good with very limited amount of sugar. We do that by, adding banana, which is naturally sweet and has that fiber because it's fruit. Mm-hmm. Another recipe that we love in our household is the creamy tomato soup. It's made with carrots, and it comes with a grilled cheese sandwich that you can make with the kids, too. It's pretty easy to make. So there are some great family favorites in there. Also the desserts. There's a banana ice cream in there that's super easy to make with frozen bananas and cream, and then there's a date caramel sauce that you can also make. So some really decadent desserts featured in the book, really ranging from the full gamut, from the breakfast to all the way to the desserts.
I like the no-bake peanut butter energy bars. I'm a kind of my weakness is the peanut butter, any kind of peanut candy. That's mine, so that's a good one. I'm going to check that one out.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out, and that one can stay in the refrigerator, so, you can have it for breakfast or take it to work with you as a snack.
You talk about other sweeteners like the banana, like you mentioned, you can add in. There's natural sugar in that. How about honey or other natural sweeteners? Are they better for you? Does it matter, or is that what you go for in these recipes?
Yeah, so actually, that is a misperception that a lot of folks have. There's this distinction between refined sugars, so those are things like granulated sugars that are really processed, versus honey, which, is naturally occurring and should be healthier, but actually the way your body processes all these sugars is pretty similar, and the end result in terms of health outcomes is the same. So it's important when you're thinking about how much sugar you're eating every day. So for you, it would be 9 teaspoons per day, that if you're having honey or maple syrup or agave, that's counting towards your 9 teaspoons.
It's better, but it's still, you have to watch how much you have of it, right? The body still has to process
yes,
it.
Definitely.
Right?
And honey definitely has some beneficial properties. So, in my clinical work, we recommend it a lot of times for children when they have like colds, or if your throat is sore, you can take honey. But again, it's really important to make sure when you're counting the sugar you're eating that you're taking that into account as well.
Yeah. You mentioned so many kids, or not just kids, but adults too, with the sodas or any types of soft drinks. Do you have anything in the book that kind of substitutes for that? You can make your own drinks that are less sugar in them?
Yeah, so that's actually a very important point. So 50% of added sugar in the diet is actually coming from drinks, and a lot of those are sodas, or nowadays the other popular drinks are those coffee drinks that you see at Starbucks and Peet's and other places. So we do have some recipes in the book for kids' favorites, so definitely some uncaffeinated and caffeinated coffee drinks, as well as these hot chocolate blocks that you can use to make cocoa, and it has a fraction of the sugar that you would find in a similar product if you were to purchase it outside. So definitely some great recipes for beverages as well, but we do try to encourage you to drink water, because my motto is eat your sugar, not drink it. So if given a choice of having a dessert or a soda, I will pick the dessert every time.
I always thought, and I do this occasionally, just put a little lemon juice or something in water. You think you have a lemonade.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And
yeah, we have actually some great tips in here for how you can make ice cubes with fruit in them, so you can drop those into your water to make it a little more exciting for your family.
You mentioned the chocolate. I've always been told, my mom says the dark chocolate is actually better for you, or actually some health benefits, as opposed to milk chocolate. Is there truth to that?
Yeah, so I think the key with the chocolate, which we utilize that in the book as well, is to look at the sugar content for the chocolate. So a lot of the dark chocolates have a lower sugar content, and so the brownies, for example, we recommend that you use the dark chocolate chips rather than using milk chocolate. So that is a great strategy that you can use at home as well when you're making something with chocolate. Pick a lower sugar content chocolate, like a darker chocolate.
Yeah, good to know that something that tastes good can also be good for you, so that's good.
Yes.
Well, the name of the book is Half the Sugar, All the Love, a family cookbook. Again, it's 100 easy, low-sugar recipes for every meal of the day. We just touched on a couple of them, and we've been talking with Dr. Anisha Patel, and you also wrote it with Jennifer Tyler Lee. And Doctor, do you have a website you want to direct people to, how they get more information on the book?
Yeah, sure. The website is 52newfoods.com, and you can find out more about the book, some local events in the area, and if you have any nutrition information you'd like to access, you can also follow us on Twitter.
Great. Doctor, pleasure talking to you, and good luck with the book. Hopefully we'll talk to you again. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.